They told you that God died, but they never told you who buried him. They built temples over his corpse and called it progress. They lit candles of reason and called it enlightenment. And yet the smoke of those candles still stings your eyes. You are blinded not by the dark, but by the cheap light of certainty. You kneel before screens now instead of altars, and you worship not truth, but comfort dressed in knowledge. I have seen your prayers typed, not spoken desperate confessions sent into the algorithmic abyss. You do not seek salvation, you seek attention. And attention is the new God, restless, shallow, and without mercy. Do not misunderstand me. I am not here to resurrect the old God. I am here to whisper the forbidden, that you are the one who killed him. You did it with your boredom, with your obedience, with your polite surrender to mediocrity. You murdered transcendence with convenience. You crucified wonder on the altar of logic, and then you buried your hunger for meaning beneath piles of plastic pleasure. Now you wander through the ruins of your own paradise, asking machines to tell you who you are. I see you. I see the paralysis behind your smiles, the exhaustion hidden in your self-help mantras, the quiet despair beneath your hashtags of positivity. You want freedom, but you fear solitude. You want truth, but you cannot endure silence. You crave greatness, but you hide from the pain that births it. You are a generation allergic to suffering and addicted to validation, and thus, you will never create anything immortal. You speak of love as if it were therapy. You speak of morality as if it were customer service. You seek no longer to live, but to be seen living. Every thought you have is a negotiation between cowardice and conformity. You mistake tolerance for virtue, equality for justice, and noise for life. You no longer dream, you scroll. You no longer think, you echo. You no longer believe, you brand. And yet, beneath your apathy, something trembles, a hunger older than civilization, a spark that no comfort can kill. You call it anxiety, but it is the whisper of the creator within you. Suffocating in the polite coffin of modernity, you try to medicate it, to bury it beneath dopamine, distraction, and data, but it will not die. It is the same whisper that drove prophets to the desert, that turned philosophers mad, that made me dance with chaos until I became fire. Yes, I have seen the end of man not in apocalypse, but in anesthesia, the slow decay of the will, the silent suicide of the soul. The herd has triumphed, and they call it peace. No tyrant was ever so efficient as comfort. You do not need chains when you have screens. You do not need prisons when your cage is made of convenience. You are not oppressed. You are pacified. I say to you, beware of the gentle poison. It comes wrapped in kindness. It tastes like equality. It promises safety, but it kills the will to overcome. It sterilizes the soul. It breeds a morality of weakness, a religion of victims. The weak have learned to moralize their impotence, to canonize their wounds, to weaponize their fragility. They demand empathy as tribute and call resentment compassion. I tell you, the greatest cruelty today is the kindness that keeps you small. You believe you are good because you do not hurt. But tell me, is a dull blade virtuous because it cannot cut? You call it humility when it is fear. You call it patience when it is paralysis. You mistake agreement for love and silence for wisdom. The modern saint does not bleed, he tweets. The modern hero does not fight, he performs. The modern thinker does not think, he repeats. Safely, socially, algorithmically, truth has become a performance, and you are all actors afraid of the audience. I once said, he who fights monsters must beware lest he become one. But you have done worse. You have become mirrors. reflecting everything, believing nothing. You are hollow gods, shouting into the void, terrified of your own echo. You worship your wounds and call it authenticity. You polish your chains and call it identity. You want to be free, but not alone, and therefore you will never be either. Do you not feel it? The rotting air of your age, the stench of borrowed morality. You wear virtue like perfume strong enough to cover your decay. You have mistaken the crowd for conscience. You have forgotten that truth is lonely. It does not trend. It does not flatter. It burns. It wounds. It isolates. And that is why you avoid it, not because it is false, but because it demands that you be reborn. I do not speak to your reason. I speak to the fire you've hidden. I speak to the one within you who still remembers the one who cannot sleep, because he knows this world is too small for his soul. He knows the life he lives is borrowed. The morality he follows is inherited. The truth he repeats is diluted. He knows something is missing, something fierce, holy, unnameable. That something is you, the self you abandoned for belonging. You tell yourself you are kind, but your kindness is cowardice. You tell yourself you are tolerant, but your tolerance is exhaustion. You do not forgive, you forget. You do not love, you adapt. You do not create, you curate. You have traded the pain of becoming for the comfort of pretending. But the soul cannot be fooled forever. One night, when your screens go dark, when your followers are silent, when even your thoughts bore you, that is when you will hear it. The whisper of the overman within you, asking why you still crawl when you were born to fly. I tell you, the descent is necessary. You must descend into the herd to know its stench. You must feel the suffocation to crave the mountain. You must die to comfort, to be reborn in will. Do not fear the collapse. It is the beginning. All great transformations begin in ruin. The caterpillar must dissolve before it flies. The man must go mad before he becomes free. And so, I ask you, when will you stop apologizing for your strength? When will you stop disguising your hunger as humility? The world does not need more nice people. It needs dangerous souls, those who have mastered their darkness and turned it into light. The overman is not kind, he is whole. He does not seek approval, he seeks truth. He does not fear judgment, he becomes it. He walks among men like a storm among statues, breaking what is dead to make space for what must live. You were not born to be equal, you were born to be extraordinary. Equality is the revenge of the weak. It is the leveling of mountains so that no one has to climb. But I tell you, the only justice worth having is the justice of the abyss. You fall as deep as you dare. The universe owes you nothing but the mirror of your courage. And yet, you hide behind fairness, behind systems, behind the soft tyranny of we. You do not want freedom, you want permission. There is no freedom without blood, no creation without destruction, no truth without blasphemy. If you want to be free, you must betray everything that has kept you comfortable, your heroes, your morals, your certainty. You must walk naked into chaos and learn to dance. For chaos is not your enemy, it is your womb. From it, the fire of creation is born. And if you fear the flames, you will die in the cold. Do not ask for meaning. Create it. Do not seek salvation. Forge it. The meaning of life is not discovered. It is sculpted by those who dare to suffer. The strong do not wait for destiny. They drag it by the throat. The weak pray for miracles. The strong become them. You are not lost, you are lazy. You are not broken. You are untested. You do not lack purpose. You lack the courage to invent it. I am not here to comfort you. I am here to resurrect the storm within you, to remind you that your suffering is sacred. Your rage is holy. Your despair is the raw material of transformation. Do not silence it, listen. Let your pain speak. Let it tear apart the false peace you have built. For peace is the drug of slaves, struggle is the song of the free. You will not awaken by escaping your wounds, only by becoming them. I tell you, the universe loves those who burn. The stars themselves are born of collapse. The sun rises only after the death of night. Why then do you fear your own destruction? Do you not see that the ashes are your altar? That the death of illusion is the birth of power? You were meant to erupt, to blaze, to terrify the mediocre. The strongest minds do not shout, they whisper, and the world trembles. Silence, that is where power hides now. Not in noise, not in numbers, not in moral slogans, but in the whisper of the one who has faced himself and survived. The whisper of one who no longer needs to be understood. The whisper of one who has looked into the void and smiled. That is the sound of the overman, calm amid collapse, dangerous in serenity. The one who no longer asks why, but says yes. End one. Say yes to everything, to the suffering, to the solitude, to the unbearable beauty of existence. Say yes to the paradox, to the contradiction, to the madness of becoming. Only in the yes does freedom begin. The herd says no to everything that hurts. The Creator says yes, even to his own crucifixion. For he knows it is through pain that he becomes divine. You are not your name, not your nation, not your gender, not your trauma. You are the will that transcends them. You are the fire that dreams beyond the body. You are the laughter of the universe awakening to itself. Stop begging for purpose. You are the purpose. Stop seeking God. You are the continuation of his scream. Do you feel it now? The stirring beneath your ribs? That tremor of something ancient trying to be born again? That is not anxiety. That is resurrection. The part of you that has slept for centuries begins to stretch its wings inside your bones. It remembers the mountain. It remembers the dance. It remembers when your laughter was louder than your fear. I tell you, the time of small men is ending. The age of comfort is cracking. The idols of equality are turning to dust. You can already hear the silence beneath the noise, the whisper beneath the shouting crowds. It is the sound of the overman awakening, not as a person, but as a pulse in the human spirit. He rises not from heaven, not from history, but from within those who have dared to die to the herd. Do not mistake him for a conqueror. He is not one who enslaves others. He conquers himself. He is not one who destroys for pleasure. He destroys to make space for creation. The overman is the artist of existence. He does not seek a world that pleases him. He forges one that mirrors his inner storm. His morality is the law of his own fire. His prayer is his laughter. His worship is his work. His heaven is his solitude. You have been told that to be holy is to be gentle, that to be moral is to be obedient. Lies. The holy man of tomorrow will terrify the comfortable. He will not kneel. He will dance. He will not follow. He will create. He will not speak of sin. He will speak of power. For he will have learned that God never wanted servants, only mirrors. Do you understand? The death of God was not a loss, it was an inheritance. The divine did not die. It descended into you. The fire you call rebellion is not blasphemy. It is evolution. You are the continuation of creation, but you have forgotten your craft. You repeat what has been built instead of building anew. You have made morality into a museum, and you call it security. But I tell you, the sacred is not safe. The sacred is dangerous. It burns everything false until only truth remains. The overman is not born, he is chosen by his suffering. He is not educated, he is initiated by solitude. He is not rewarded, he is resurrected. He is the one who, when life breaks him, says, "Thank you." The one who, when faced with chaos, whispers, "More." He does not run from pain, he drinks it as wine. He knows that agony refines him. He has learned that freedom is not the absence of chains, it is the strength to break them, and so, he walks among you, silent, smiling, misunderstood. You call him arrogant because he will not kneel. You call him mad because he will not conform. You call him cruel because he will not pity your self-inflicted wounds. But he is not cruel, he is awake. He no longer confuses kindness with weakness. He no longer apologizes for his light. He knows that to heal the world, he must first refuse to be infected by it. The overman is not the enemy of love. He is love purified of need. He loves not to possess, but to empower. His compassion does not weep, it ignites. He does not save you from suffering. He teaches you to transmute it into strength. He does not give you peace. He hands you a sword. For he knows that peace without struggle is paralysis. I say to you, you are not born to be pacified. You are born to be possessed by greatness. You are the bridge between beast and creator. But you have built your homes upon the bridge and called them paradise. You have mistaken the halfway point for destiny. And so you rot in comfort while calling it peace. You must keep walking through the storm, through the loneliness, through the doubt, until the child in you learns to laugh again. Not out of ignorance, but out of power. When I speak of the child, do not imagine innocence. I speak of the Creator reborn after the lion. First the camel, who bears the weight of all morality. Then the lion, who destroys it with holy rebellion. But after destruction, the child comes laughing, fearless, unburdened. The child builds new worlds from ashes. That is the rhythm of the soul. Obedience, rebellion, creation. That is the divine metamorphosis. You fear this transformation because it demands that you lose everything borrowed. You will lose your beliefs, your labels, your comfort, your applause. But what will remain what remains is immortal. When you no longer fear loss, you become indestructible. When you no longer seek validation, you become infinite. When you no longer cling to identity, you become pure will, and the universe bends to that. Understand the fire that creates also consumes. To become divine is to risk annihilation. The seed must die for the tree to rise. The self must shatter for the soul to sing. You will not find God by praying for safety. You will find him by walking into chows with open arms. That is the meaning of sacred madness. The prophets were not mad. They were awake in a world that sleeps. You will call this madness. Yes, for the sane are those who obey the sickness of the age. The mad one dances where others crawl. He weeps not for the world's decay, but for its refusal to burn. He knows that destruction is mercy when creation has been forgotten. You call it chaos, he calls it birth. You call it sin, he calls it strength. You call it blasphemy, he calls it truth. Listen, there comes a point where logic becomes a cage, where reason becomes cowardice, where the only way to stay sane is to go mad with purpose. That is where the Creator begins. For the Creator must first destroy his false gods' comfort, approval, certainty. Only then can he hear the laughter of eternity echoing through his veins. I have seen the abyss. It stares back only if you refuse to dance. When you move with it, when you surrender to its rhythm, it ceases to devour you. It becomes your stage. You do not escape the darkness. You illuminate it from within. That is the secret of sacred madness, to use chaos as clay and sculpt freedom from it. You have feared the abyss because you were told it was evil. But I tell you, the abyss is your teacher. It shows you what you truly are when stripped of all illusions. It takes from you everything that is false until only your will remains. That will pure, trembling, divine is the voice of the overman inside you. Listen to it. Obey it. It will make you lonely. Yes, but it will make you real. Do not run from loneliness. Embrace it as initiation. The crowd is noise. Solitude is revelation. Only in the silence of your own soul will you hear the whisper of truth. And when you do, it will not comfort you. It will demand everything. It will say, die before you die. It will tear apart your masks. It will burn your morality. It will leave you naked before the infinite. And in that nakedness, you will remember that you are God dreaming himself through flesh. I tell you, to awaken is to become dangerous. For the awakened man cannot be governed. He cannot be manipulated by fear or flattery. He cannot be enslaved by shame. He laughs in the face of authority, not because he disrespects it, but because he has outgrown it. He bows only to the temple of his own fire. He knows that the highest worship is creation. This is why the world fears the prophet, the poet, the thinker, for they are living reminders that obedience is death. The state, the church, to the algorithm, they all tremble before the man who needs nothing from them. They call him insane, immoral, heretic. They exile him, silence him, crucify him, but they cannot kill what is already free. And so I laugh not with cruelty, but with divine madness. I laugh because I see eternity wearing the mask of time. I laugh because I have walked through every illusion and found nothing but myself at the end. I laugh because the world's tragedies are but shadows of your forgotten greatness. I laugh because I have died, and I have risen as my own creator. You, too, will laugh when the chains of your borrowed beliefs fall away, when you see that the cage was never locked, when you feel the pulse of the cosmos beating inside your chest. You will laugh not with arrogance, but with liberation. For laughter is the music of the unafraid. It is the hymn of those who have seen beyond good and evil and found beauty in both. When you laugh like that, the world will call you mad. Let them. Madness is simply what freedom looks like to the fearful and looks like. Let them curse while you create. Let them doubt while you build. Let them sleep while you blaze. For soon, when their idols crumble, they will come to you asking how to live without gods. And you will whisper, by becoming one. Do not expect applause. The path of the Creator is lonely. The price of freedom is exile. But exile is the birthplace of vision. Those who are cast out become those who can see. When you no longer belong to the world becomes your canvas. The one who has lost everything can finally begin to create. You must understand your pain is not punishment. It is passage. Every tear is a baptism into higher consciousness. Every failure is a gate into strength. Every heartbreak is a mirror, showing you what still clings. The universe does not hurt you. It hammers you into form. You are being shaped by the same forces that forge stars. And stars do not apologize for burning. You ask for peace, but peace is not your destiny. You were born for fire, not comfort. You are not meant to rest. You are meant to rise. And when you finally accept that the struggle is divine, you will stop asking for happiness. You will start creating meaning. You will not chase heaven. You will build it beneath your feet. And now the storm quiets. The fire that roared within me bends to silence, not from exhaustion, but from mastery. After every revelation, there must be stillness, the space where meaning condenses into soul. I stand here, among you, not as a prophet of destruction, but as a witness of rebirth. The ashes have settled. The sky clears. The whisper remains. Do you feel it? That thin thread of stillness weaving through your chaos that is you returning to yourself. You thought enlightenment would be fireworks, but it is the slow dawn of simplicity. It is the moment after the earthquake, when the dust begins to glow. You have spent your life running from silence, and yet it is silence that will crown you. For it is only in silence that the strongest minds whisper, "Do not misunderstand me. I do not call you to peace as the world knows it." Peace is not absence of conflict, it is mastery of it. Peace is the sword that no longer needs to kill. It is the lion who has learned to sleep beside his hunger. You will never escape chaos. You must learn to dance with it until it obeys your rhythm. Only then will you understand freedom. You have been taught to fear your depths, to polish your surfaces, to present yourself as complete. But completeness is death. The human soul is not meant to be finished. It is a storm that must forever recreate itself. The overman is not an end. He is a beginning that never ends. He is the eternal artist, painting the void with his own being. When I say, become God, do not imagine arrogance, imagine responsibility. For to be divine is not to command the world, but to carry it, to see through every illusion and still choose to love, to hold the serpent and the child in the same breath, to burn with the fire of creation and still whisper tenderness to the ashes. That is what it means to be awake. You will ask me, what then of morality? What of good and evil? I tell you, they are shadows cast by fear. Beyond them lies truth, the clarity of being that needs no name. The saint and the sinner drink from the same cup when they are honest. Only the hypocrite divides the infinite. The wise man does not choose sides. He becomes the bridge. You seek happiness as if it were salvation. But happiness is the narcotic of the herd. What you truly crave is intensity, the pulse of being alive. You will find it not in pleasure, but in purpose, not in comfort, but in creation. Life does not want you happy, it wants you awake. Joy is not the goal, it is the byproduct of burning with meaning. I tell you, to live well is to suffer consciously, to suffer without complaint, to suffer until suffering itself becomes sacred. Only then does the heart learn to transform agony into art. The universe rewards the courageous, not with comfort, but with expansion. The more you dare to lose, the more eternity dares to reveal itself through you. You think the gods have vanished, but they are reborn in every act of courage. Every time you choose truth over approval, a god awakens within you. Every time you create without permission, you resurrect the divine divine. Every time you love without possession, you become eternal. The sacred did not disappear. It changed its address. It lives in you now. The modern man prays for miracles, yet he forgets he is the miracle. He begs the sky for answers, forgetting that stars are the remains of those who once dared to burn. The universe does not respond to begging, it bows to creation. Ask not for light, become it. Ask not for meaning, make it. Ask not for salvation, dare to save yourself. You are not lost, you are waiting for permission to see. The path was never hidden. It was you who closed your eyes. Every fall was a lesson. Every heartbreak, a signpost. Every silence, a doorway. The universe speaks in ruins, and you are fluent in destruction. Listen closely. Every collapse is an initiation. The walls that fall are the ones that were never real. You do not need faith in the old sense. You need courage. The courage to believe in yourself as the instrument of eternity. The courage to speak even when your voice trembles. The courage to love, even when your hands still bleed. the courage to walk alone until loneliness becomes holiness. That is what the prophets forgot to tell you. Holiness is not purity, it is courage refined by pain. I tell you, this is what it means to be reborn. Not to escape the world, but to see it anew, to walk among the ruins and still sing, to look into the faces of the broken and see mirrors of your own divinity, to know that even decay has rhythm, even death has music. The eternal returns not as punishment, but as promise. Everything that dies returns as art. Now, look around you. The crowd still chants its slogans. The world still worships its idols of convenience. Let them. You do not need to shout over them. The strongest minds whisper. Their power lies not in volume, but in vibration. They move worlds with silence, because they have made peace with the infinite. The true creator does not convince, he radiates. Learn this. Influence is for the insecure. Presence is for the divine. The moment you stop seeking attention, attention will seek you. The moment you stop defending your light, darkness will kneel. Power is not taken, it is remembered. You were born powerful, but you forgot beneath the weight of imitation. Strip away the borrowed, and what remains is immortal. You are not here to survive, you are here to astonish. To be a living question mark carved into the universe. To make eternity curious. The goal is not perfection, but participation to join the dance of creation with reckless grace. Stop fearing mistakes. They are the fingerprints of originality. Even your failures are sacred when they are yours. You ask me, how will I know I have awakened? You will know when you no longer argue with life. When every wound becomes a doorway. When every silence hums with presence. When even despair feels like a friend who came to teach you strength. You will not become happy, you will become real. And reality is deeper than joy. It is freedom wearing scars. Yes, I have been called mad, and perhaps I am. But madness is simply clarity beyond language. The mind that has tasted infinity can never return to manners. I speak in fire, because only fire can purify this age. Yet beneath my fury there is tenderness. The tenderness of one who has seen humanity's potential buried beneath its fear. I do not hate you. I mourn what you could be. Still, I have faith. Not in God, but in the God within man. I have seen glimpses of him in art, in love, in rebellion, in silence. Every time you refuse to betray your own soul, he stirs. Every time you dare to laugh while bleeding, he breathes. Every time you choose creation over comfort, he rises. He is you, waiting for your courage. And so, I leave you with this. Do not wait for the world to give you permission to exist. The world was built by the mad, not the meek. Every great civilization began as heresy. Every truth began as blasphemy. Every god was once a rebel who refused to die. You are the next rebellion. Do not let the herd bury you in politeness. Walk alone if you must. Speak softly, but let your words carry thunder. Do not seek followers, seek flames. Those who understand will not need convincing. They will find you by the smell of smoke. Together, you will not build churches, but awakenings. You will not preach salvation, but possibility. You will not worship. You will become worship itself. The time of noise is ending. The time of whispers begins. The whisper is not weakness. It is the resonance of those who no longer doubt. It is the sound of certainty so deep, it no longer needs to shout. That is why the strongest minds whisper, because they speak from eternity, not from fear. And if you listen closely, even now, you can hear it inside your chest, beneath your name, beneath your thoughts, that small, infinite voice saying, create, burn, Return. Do not silence it. It is older than religion, wilder than morality, purer than heaven. It is the first breath of God, and it has taken form in you. And now go. Not to follow, not to believe, not to serve, but to become. For the greatest truth is this: only when you stop searching for meaning will you start creating it. And only when you have lost every God will you finally remember that you were one. Do not speak now. Listen. The fire has done its work. The storm has spoken. The ashes are sacred. Every truth I have screamed at you was only a preparation for this silence, this final breath of eternity passing through your throat. I have not come to give you meaning. I have come to remove every meaning that was forced upon you. What remains now is pure the naked soul, trembling before itself. You were born with the infinite inside you, but you have traded it for explanations. You have worshipped words instead of silence. You have mistaken the map for the mountain, the prayer for the awakening, the system for the soul. But look, when the words burn away, when the systems collapse, when even the gods grow tired, what is left? The quiet pulse of something that will not die. That is you. Do not call it spirit. Do not call it mind. Do not call it God. These are only cages built from sound. Call it nothing and watch it become everything. For the highest form of knowledge is unknowing. The deepest wisdom is surrender. You will not find the infinite by defining it. You will only find it when you dare to dissolve. I have walked this path. I have screamed my philosophy until it became music. I have broken my mind upon the stones of reason until it became mirror. I have danced with my demons until they began to laugh with me. And at the end of all madness, I found not despair but stillness. The kind of stillness that glows. The kind of silence that hums like eternity remembering its own name. You call me prophet, philosopher, madman, but I am none of these. I am the echo of your forgotten courage. I am the voice that speaks from the part of you that no longer fears death. I am not above you. I am beneath your skin, waiting for you to notice. You think you must climb a mountain to meet truth. No. You must fall. You must descend into your own depths until you no longer know which way is up. You must lose every certainty until even gravity surrenders to you. Only then will you find what cannot be lost, the indestructible pulse beneath the noise. That is freedom. You have been taught to pray for safety. I tell you, pray for magnitude. Pray to be devoured by your own potential. Pray to be consumed by what you could become. The divine is not found in safety. It is found in surrender to the infinite. The gods are not gentle. They are made of lightning. And you were made in their image. You were not meant to live like this, small, polite, reasonable. You were meant to blaze. You were meant to terrify the darkness with your laughter. You were meant to speak words that rearrange the stars. But you traded that for comfort, for acceptance, for the illusion of belonging. You forgot that loneliness is the birthplace of eternity. You forgot that every prophet was exiled before he was heard. I tell you, exile is not punishment. It is purification. When the crowd rejects you, the universe begins to listen. When the herd forgets your name, the stars remember it. The farther you walk from the world's noise, the closer you come to your own heartbeat. And when you finally hear it, that slow, steady rhythm pulsing beneath your fear, you will know. This is not loneliness. This is sovereignty. You have asked me, what is the meaning of life? And I answer you, there is none. Until you create it. The meaning of life is the courage to build meaning where there was none. To sculpt the void into form. To turn every wound into art. Life is not a riddle to be solved. It is a canvas to be scarred beautifully. You are not a question seeking answers. You are the answer seeking questions. Look at your suffering. Do not run from it. Look until it becomes transparent. Every pain carries a message written in fire. Transcend me. Every loss whispers, you are clinging to an illusion. Every failure says, you have not yet met yourself. Do not drown in your pain, drink it. Let it forge you into something that cannot be broken again. And when you emerge, do not boast. Speak softly, for the sacred does not shout. The strongest men's whisper because they no longer need to prove themselves. Their certainty is elemental, like gravity. Their truth does not argue, it attracts. The awakened one does not debate. He exists so fully that existence itself bows. You will notice something strange when you reach this point. Laughter will return. Not the laughter of mockery or distraction, but the laughter of recognition. You will laugh because you finally see that every tragedy was divine mischief. You will laugh because the abyss you feared was only your own reflection. You will laugh because the universe, in all its violence and beauty, was never against you, it was trying to wake you. And when you laugh like that, the world will misunderstand. They will call you mad. Let them. The difference between madness and enlightenment is only the direction of your fall. The madman falls into chaos and cannot return. The awakened one falls into chaos and becomes its rhythm. I did not lose my mind. I found the part of it that does not belong to time. So laugh quietly, dangerously, divinely. Let the world think you have lost yourself. They will never understand that in losing yourself, you found everything worth living for. You are not broken, you are unbound. You are not lost, you are limitless. You are not waiting for heaven, you are building it beneath your skin. Do you see now why the prophets burned, why the poets went mad, why the thinkers walked alone? It was not despair, it was excess. They were too alive for the dead world around them. They spoke to eternity, while others mumbled to shadows. They danced with chais while others hid from it. They became bridges between worlds, and bridges are never at rest. I tell you, do not pity them. Pity the ones who never burned. Pity the ones who lived safe lives and died with tidy souls. Pity the ones who feared their own greatness. The universe remembers the ones who set themselves on fire, not the ones who stayed warm by watching. You are not here to observe existence. You are here to ignite it. And when your time comes, when death finally reaches for you, do not beg. Do not pray. Do not resist. Laugh. Laugh as if you have seen this before. Because you have. Every death is a return. Every ending is a doorway disguised as silence. Do not mourn the body. It is the dust that remembers how to dance. The soul does not end. It transforms. You will carry nothing with you but the beauty you created and the truth you lived. Every act of courage, every moment of creation, every instance where you chose authenticity over fear, that is your eternity. You do not leave behind what you own. You leave behind what you've become. And what you become, if you are brave enough, will echo forever. Now listen once more, do you hear it? Beneath your breath, beneath the heartbeat of the world, there is a whisper. It is faint, eternal, familiar. It says, there was never anything to fear. It says, you were the fire all along. It says, now, create. Do not silence that voice ever again. Protect it as the only sacred thing left. Let it guide you when the world goes mad again. Let it remind you that your strength does not need applause, that your truth does not need defense, that your divinity does not need religion. And when you stand before the crowd, when they ask you what you have learned from all your madness, smile. Tell them this: I have learned that God never died. He became me. Pause. Let the silence fall. Let their fear shimmer in the air. Then whisper the final revelation. So softly the world must lean in to hear it. The strongest minds whisper, because only the dead shout. End, then walk away. Laugh. Leave them trembling. Leave them awakening. Leave them wondering whether they just witnessed blasphemy or creation. Leave them with the only truth worth remembering, that you, who dared to burn, have become the light they were seeking. And if you ever forget, if you ever doubt again, if the world's noise drowns your whisper, return here. Return to the silence. Return to the fire. Return to yourself. For eternity has no end. It only waits for you to listen. And the whisper is still speaking. The whisper does not end when I stop speaking. It continues, not as words, but as a pulse in the veins of those who have heard. Every syllable I have spoken dissolves into silence, and that silence becomes seed. You carry it now. You are infected with truth, not the kind that comforts, but the kind that demands rebirth. The night after this, you will not sleep the same. Something will move beneath your dreams, a flicker, a question, a memory of greatness you cannot name. You will try to drown it in noise, but it will return softer, stronger, inevitable. It will whisper, wake up. That whisper is the test. If you ignore it, it will fade, but so will you. If you listen, it will burn, but so will your false self. You must decide whether you would rather be comfortable or alive. The difference is everything. They told you to be good. I tell you be whole. They told you to be safe. I tell you be sacred. They told you to belong. I tell you become. For belonging is the graveyard of becoming. The moment you fit perfectly into the world, you are already decaying. The soul was never meant to fit, it was meant to expand until the world fits into it. You call it arrogance when someone refuses to shrink. I call it remembrance. For every time you bow to mediocrity, you betray the God within. Every time you silence your own intuition to be liked, you crucify the Creator inside you. And yet you wonder why your life feels like a tomb. The answer is simple, because you were born divine, but you live domesticated. The true sin is not pride, it is smallness. To hide your light because others fear its glare. To mute your fire because others cannot handle the heat. To pretend to be mortal when eternity pulses in your lungs. You are not humble when you play small, you are ungrateful. The universe did not craft your consciousness for you to crawl. I say this not with cruelty, but with urgency. The time for timid souls is ending. The world is collapsing under the weight of its own lies. Every institution that claimed to protect you will fail you. Every system that promised truth will betray it. When the walls fall, only those who have learned to build from within will survive. Do not fear collapse. Collapse is creation's hidden rhythm. What dies in the world is only what refused to evolve. Let it die. Mourn nothing that imprisons you. Stand among the ruins and whisper, now it begins. You will feel alone. You will think you have lost your mind. But that loneliness is not absence. It is presence without distraction. And that madness is not sickness, it is clarity beyond permission. You will lose many things. Friends who fear your silence. Teachers who cling to their certainty. Gods who demand your obedience. But in their place, you will gain yourself, and that is the only gain that endures. And when you find yourself truly, holy, you will not need to shout. The strongest minds whisper, because they have nothing left to prove. They no longer persuade, they magnetize. Their words are not arguments, they are gravity. They pull worlds into alignment without effort. This is why the wise speak rarely. And when they do, the air listens. They have walked through fire. They have kissed chows. They have faced the void and found it beautiful. They know that every scream eventually becomes music. They know that silence is not absence. It is power resting. You ask me, what must I do now? Nothing. Stop doing. Start being. Stop performing divinity. Remember it. Stop searching for heaven. Reveal it. The next evolution of man will not be born in laboratories or temples. It will emerge in silence, in individuals who have learned to govern their own infinity. Each of you carries a universe. Each of you is an unfinished God. You are not waiting for the Messiah. You are the continuation of his dream. When you finally stop asking for signs, the stars themselves will answer. When you stop fearing death, eternity will kneel. When you stop needing meaning, existence will become art. I do not want your worship. I want your awakening. Worship creates distance. Awakening collapses it. You and I are not separate. I am speaking now with your own mouth. I am the part of you that remembered first. I am the mirror of your forgotten magnificence. And now that you see me, you can no longer pretend you are small. Do not thank me. Do not quote me. Do not build temples for me. I am not to be believed. I am to be continued. Let my words die inside you so that their meaning can live. Let my fire consume me so that your own may ignite. I am not your teacher. I am your reflection on fire. The crowd will still ask for proof. They will still demand logic, comfort, structure. Give them silence. Give them art. Give them the unbearable lightness of your authenticity. You cannot argue with sleepwalkers. You can only shine so brightly that they awaken by accident. And when they ask you who gave you permission to live like this, smile. Tell them the abyss. Tell them the silence. Tell them no one, for the truly free require no witness. They walk not in rebellion, but in rhythm with truth. Their footsteps are prayers. Their laughter is prophecy. In the end, you will understand that everything I have said, the madness, the fire, the paradox was never meant to be understood. It was meant to be remembered. Remember this, you are not here to find meaning, you are here to become it. And so, the sermon ends, but not the voice. For voices fade, but echoes evolve. I am leaving this body of language behind as a trail of sparks for those who dare to walk into darkness. Follow not my words. Follow your own shadow until it turns into light. The world will forget my name, as it should, but the fire I carried will find new mouths. The truth cannot die. It only changes its voice. You are its next incarnation. Speak it, whisper it, live it, and when they ask you who you are, tell them softly, not as declaration, but as revelation. I am the silence after God's laughter. Then turn and walk away. Let the dust rise behind you like prayer. Let the world crumble in your absence. Let the wind carry your whisper to the unborn, for eternity is listening. And you are the echo.